We believe that we're prepared to act expeditiously on a package to our colleagues that will allow us to send a message to the markets that the Congress heard the message, and we want to do what's correct and right in the next few days. We can't say exactly when. We've reached a fundamental agreement on a set of principles. One, for taxpayers, which is tremendously important. We're giving the Secretary authority that he will need in order to act and the funding that he will need. We also have dealt, I think, effectively with the issue of effective oversight, with home ownership preservation, as well as executive compensation. Now, in anticipation of your questions, we're not going to go into the details of this. Clearly, we now need to meet with the Treasury Department and go over these principles which we've agreed on among ourselves, and obviously go back to our respective caucuses to talk with them as well. But this is the time we tried to come together, both chambers, both parties, to respond to the request we've received from the Bush administration. We believe we've done that as leaders on this issue, as the appropriate committees of responsibility. We'll obviously be talking to our respective leadership as well. But we're very confident that we can act expeditiously. We think we've done a good job in arriving at that kind of consensus. Now let me turn to Bob Bennett of Utah for any comments. And then we'll turn to Barney as well as Spencer Backus from the House side.
I concur absolutely with the chairman that it was a very productive meeting, and the most encouraging thing that comes out of it from my point of view is that I now expect we will indeed have a plan that can pass the House, pass the Senate, be signed by the President, and bring a sense of certainty to this crisis that is still roiling in the markets. That is our primary responsibility, and I think we are now prepared to meet it. I appreciate very much my Republican colleagues who participated in the meeting and added tremendously. We focused on solving the problem rather than posturing politically, and it was one of the most productive kinds of sessions in that regard that I participated in since I've been in the Senate.
Barney Frank, please. Mr. Chairman?
Yep. Yes, I agree with Senator Bennett. We were very serious here. We'll probably posture politically a couple days next week if you miss that. But we did talk in there very seriously about the specifics, and we came to some agreements on a lot of the important issues. I will say, from my standpoint, I've been through several Democratic caucuses in the House. I've talked to a lot of my colleagues. As the concerns of the Democratic members of the House were brought to me and to the Speaker, I can report back to them, as I will, that we have been able to accommodate the bulk of them in very responsible ways. And yes, we have got a situation where the President made a request. We are responding, I think, to the central thrust of that request, but adding collectively a number of things that will make people legitimately feel better about the overall approach. And yes, we are on track, I believe, to pass this. The market should be calmed down. We should note that some of us have been invited to go to the White House today to try and break a deadlock, and I'm glad that we'll be able to go and tell them that there really isn't that much of a deadlock to break, but I'm always glad to get to go to the White House.
Spencer.
One thing that I'm encouraged by is something that Senator Reid and I have worked on for taxpayer protection, to see that the taxpayer and that the Treasury is reimbursed for their expenditures. And I think that was an important step that we all took, and we're committed to the the taxpayer being protected. There was progress today, and I felt like the discussions were very open, and we're all committed to a successful and positive conclusion. Thank you.
Great. Any other anyone else want to make a comment at all? Any questions for us?
Mr. Backus, what about...
No, we're not doing
No. Just to tell you, look, this was very successful, we believe. Taxpayers are getting help in this, which is tremendously important, as well as going forward with a program that we hope will be a positive signal to the markets. Let me thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right.
There we go.